Right, we are actually recording now.
Okay.
Good start. Right, welcome back to the Big Lad Podcast. As you see on YouTube, we've got a special guest.
A big lad.
We've got Poppy Brown on for her third stint on the podcast. First one.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm great. Thank you. And you?
I'm not too bad. My brain's a bit fried from work, but we've asked ChatGPT to give us some questions around mindset and career development.
So basically, he asked me to come on, and he didn't have anything to say for me.
We did plan this quite last minute. This is a very last minute plan. Poppy put a couple of stories up on the weekend, and I replied in the back of it.
What do you think about?
I can't remember. It was something to do with not celebrating stuff as much as you should in the moment and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
I replied on the back of that because we were on about doing an episode now anyway because you'd moved to Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was a good one. So we've asked ChatGPT to give us some questions on mindset, career development and personal growth. And they were very sort of interview style questions. Then asked to make them more formal and fitness based. And they're still pretty close to interview questions. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure the answers won't be very formal. I think that's...
No, they won't.
So, yeah, we'll see how it is. But how are you finding Manchester so far, first of all?
It's been... Well, I think just life in general has been a massive change. So... Obviously, I have moved to Manchester. I don't know anyone in Manchester, really, apart from the few people who I've made friends with here. So I'm living on my own for the first time, and a new city, working from home. It's all very, very different. It's been a bit... It's not really been that overwhelming. I don't get stressed.
I'm pretty similar in that. I don't care enough to get stressed.
I wonder if there's like... I genuinely think like, is there something wrong with me? I don't get nervous, I don't get stressed, and I'm like, should I?
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the same. I'm like, surely I should be getting a bit nervous or a bit stressed about some things, and I don't know if it's like from a sporting background, from when I was like rowing. Like I never got nervous at any of those things. Like I rowed at the Queen's coronation event, which was like an invite only thing, and like it was a big thing, and it just didn't bother me like that at all.
Yeah.
And there's probably like something wrong if you're not getting a little bit nervous.
I used to be a massive stresser. I used to get nervous about everything. Like I could be nervous about, I don't know, going to work. Starting a new job. I used to hate the thought of starting a new job. I would literally feel sick. I know, like, but then I don't think the opportunity will ever come about where I have to get a job. No, I'm not talking about I do have a job. I'm self-employed, but I'll always be self-employed.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever
Be your own boss.
Yeah.
Be a boss bitch. It's the way to be these days.
Yeah, like, I've always had shit bosses.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, like...
My last one wasn't great.
Yeah, like, how bad are you talking? Are you open and willing to say?
Yeah, well, so I was in my last job before the one I'm in now for about 5 years, I think it was. And then I got a new boss in for probably the last 2 or 3 of that. And he's just a bullshitter. Like, he'd give so many false promises. He'd be like, so at one point he was like, I'm not going to be in this job for ages. I want you to take over the department after me. So I was like, sound, career progression, sort that out. I'll stick around for a bit because that would have been like a big step. Then the business got a bit busier. They created a new role that was in between mine and his role. So naturally, like, I went for it. They didn't even interview for me. Like, I was like, hold on. And then they were like, oh, you weren't ready for it, when I was the most experienced person in the department. So there was other things as well. Like he said in a meeting that for the work I do, they've got me cheap. And I was like, what? So basically he was saying I was getting underpaid. And when I asked for a pay review, it was like, nope. So once COVID, well, I was literally going to leave just as COVID started. And I decided to stick around because obviously job security and stuff like that. So as soon as COVID finished, I was like, stuff this, I'm getting a new job. And then, I got myself out. And that was like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, see, mine's a bit of a different. So I've always had bad ones, but I was basically an apprentice hairdresser for 6 months. I didn't even finish my apprenticeship. Not that bad.
Wow.
So I was like 18 at the time, so I had to go to college and I had to go work in the salon and stuff. And one time, this is the worst thing. He took pride in making young girls cry.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah. Like, he used to tell his clients, like, there's every single apprentice I've had, I've made him cry. And it's like, fucking well done.
Great.
That means that you're a shit fucking person. Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
That's just all.
Too late now. It's just the third time we've been on.
Swear.
How much you listen as well.
So yeah, he took pride in young girls crying. And then one time, he didn't make me cry.
I was going to say, did he make you cry?
No, I didn't. So the drains were blocked outside, and that happened when he put too much colour down the drains. It basically like frosts up and like it doesn't go down the drain. So basically, and obviously a lot of hair.
Clumps all.
Yeah, he asked me to go outside and unblock it, and I'm like, one, I don't know how to do that. So he made another girl go out with me, and she was showing me how. And I'll literally look, I'll gip him.
Yeah.
I'm like, absolutely fucking not. And then he asked me to do it again a few weeks later. So I said to him, like,
no.
I said, if you're not willing to do it, I'm definitely not going to do it. So if I'm not going to do it, and no one else is going to, you're going to have to put your hand in your pocket and get a plumber, because I aren't doing that.
Mm.
Obviously, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And then I had a meeting at college, and I knew, I'm getting sacked today. So I went in and they're like, oh, how are you finding it? And I'm like, I'm going to be completely honest, I really don't like it and I don't want to work here anymore. So I quit before I got sacked. And then I worked in another salon. Exactly the same. Like, the guy who owned the salon was so OCD. Like, really particular over everything. I just thought, I'm never going to make this guy happy. So I literally went twice. Literally went in twice. And I'm like, hairdressing, done for me. I didn't even know why I wanted to do it. Salon environment is not nice.
No.
But then that's the worst boss I've had. But then the rest of it has not been great either. It's like people should get taught how to be a manager and how to like lead a group of people, because I think everyone just goes in with the mindset of like telling everyone off, shouting at everyone, but like that doesn't work. No. I think people treat the kids like that as well. Like they go with a negative thing. Like I just think everyone's so different with dogs. Like they're so nice. They're like, oh, it's on the floor today. I'm so proud.
Can't wait to clip that.
They're polite.
Yeah.
Why do we not treat colleagues like that? Why do we not treat staff?
It's a fine line, isn't it? Like sometimes you've obviously got to be stern. It's just the way you go about doing it.
Yeah.
And like I can see it because I come from obviously the corporate background. Like I can see people that have got to management positions just because they've literally climbed the chain in their team, and their experience doesn't warrant being a manager. It's like the people skills aren't there to manage a team. Just because they've been in a certain role for like 10 years does not warrant them being a manager. So yeah, there's obviously some sort of training or skill set that is lacking.
Yeah, but there's a woman on Instagram that I follow. Alex Hermos's
Mrs.
Yeah, Layla Hermosi.
That's the one, Layla.
She is really good.
I haven't watched much of her, to be fair.
You know, yeah, she's really good. I think she knows like how to manage people, and I feel like that's the way people should manage, but no one does.
Yeah, that Alex Hormozy, obviously, like he puts a lot of his credit to Layla on podcast clips.
Yeah, like if I wanted to be anyone, I'd want to be someone like her. Like she seems like really
proper boss bitch.
Yeah,
the ultimate
boss bitch.
The goal.
Vibes.
The goal.
Yeah, but she's unbelievably like beautiful as well.
Yeah.
Have you seen her?
Probably.
She's very good looking.
Like
very good looking. It's like how's how is he like? But she.
No, to be fair, apparently he was skint when they got.
Yeah.
She stuck by him, which is fair enough.
Yeah. She probably saw potential in him.
Yeah.
Nah, she can make money.
Yeah, I think that.
They seem like obviously a very good.
Yeah, good mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a very off topic there, haven't we?
Yeah. Maybe we should go to the chat GPT questions. First one. Let's see what we've got. This is around mindset and fitness. How has your mindset around fitness evolved over time, and what role does it play in your overall personal growth? That is such an interview question. It's the most interview fitness question I've ever heard.
I think it's always changing. Like how I started versus like when I was even like a year ago.
Yeah.
To where I am now. Like the 3 different people. So like when I first started, I was just I'm doing this for fun. Like I programmed a fun day. So like I can't remember what my split was, but like push pull legs and then a fun day. And the fun day I literally used to go in, whatever I fancied on that day, I'd just go in and do. I could do like Olympic lift, like teach myself how to do just that, like CrossFit.
Is that why your back scoots now?
No. I think it were always going to happen.
Right.
I've got scoliosis. So if you don't know anyone don't know what scoliosis is, basically I've got like a curve in my spine, but it's cut like my hips. Basically, my pelvis is like this. So like one.
So it's not like a wiggle that way. It's like a pelvic thing.
That's what funny. So one hip rolls forward, one hip rolls back, and it's almost like tilted.
Right.
So my hips just don't sit straight, and then that causes a curve in my spine. So naturally, the way I sit is like one hip's up, so one lat is always short.
I always do that. Like I've got like I always get like a tight glute or like a tight lower block.
But yeah, basically everything's very unaligned, and obviously over the years building muscle, one side is always going to be stronger than the other.
Yeah.
Because one side of my body's a little shorter.
Yeah.
Like the muscles aren't lengthened like they should be. Yeah. So then I think what happened, I didn't get an official diagnosis, but I do think, well, I had sciatica anyway. I think I've had that from being young. So like my earliest memories of it, I didn't know what it was, but my earliest memory of it was like literally when I was 16.
Right.
So I think I've had sciatica since I was 16, but unaware. So it wasn't that bad. It just caused me discomfort, and I thought, I would just like pulled something.
Yeah.
Then it was 21 where I think I slipped a disc, because I don't think sciatica gets that bad, and it's very different symptoms to what I normally feel with sciatica. But I remember doing it, so I was decompressing my spine on the floor, and I did it too much, and I literally knew straight away, like, definitely done something to my back here. I woke up the next day, couldn't touch my toes. For literally a month, I couldn't put my shoes and socks on. I couldn't put like my own pants on. Like my mum basically had to get me dressed. It was awful. It was literally awful.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, she didn't have. She put my shoes and socks on for a while. And every time I was driving to work, every time I had to change gear, I'd have to like proper brace myself. It was literally awful. Having to slam on brake, anything. It was horrendous. Turning the steering wheel.
Probably shouldn't even know.
What's the question?
The question is...
How did we get onto that?
Because I asked if your back was messed up from doing your fun Olympic lifting days.
Oh, right. So
it's about how your mindset around fitness has evolved over time, and then what role it's played in your personal growth.
So I've gone from being very just having fun with it, chilling, not really making any progress, to then wanting to take it more seriously. And then I fell into like bodybuilding and wanting to compete. And with bodybuilding, you've got to be very structured. And I think with the way a lot of bodybuilders come across on social media is that you've got to be like very tunnel vision, 100% on nothing all of the time. And I am a very all or nothing kind of person anyway. Like, I'm very focused. If I've got something in my head and I'm doing it, I can't do anything like half-assed. And it's just something I've never been able to do. So I was all in with bodybuilding. It was my life. Didn't do anything else really outside of bodybuilding. I basically pushed my business so I could train when I wanted, so I could live the bodybuilding lifestyle. And then basically once I got there, I decided that I didn't want to do it.
That's not fun.
So I think that really taught me like how to be structured, how to like have routine, and how important that is. But then I'm now in a period where I'm trying to find balance between socializing more, because I've allowed bodybuilding to stop me from socializing, and that also comes with like being with my ex-boyfriend and being very heavily involved in bodybuilding. So I'm trying to find a little more balance and like life outside of my job, which is like fitness, helping other people. My hobby is also that. I need to find something else outside of bodybuilding and find myself outside of the gym.
And since you've been in Manchester, it's getting better.
Yeah, it's been a bit heavy. So like, being the all or nothing kind of person I am, I felt like obviously work always comes first. Once my work is done, I still stress that I'm not doing enough.
Didn't think you were a stressed person.
No, I don't think I'm necessarily. It's not stress. It's always in the back of my mind that there's always something else I could be doing. Yeah, like, even when I've done all my work, I still sit down and I'm like, technically, like, it's like working hours. Right. So I should be working. I should be doing more stuff. Like, could I be doing this more? Like, there's always stuff running through my mind that I need to do. I have got a lot better with that. Yeah, but
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So there's always that in the back of my mind. But then since I've moved to Manchester, trying to make new friends, like if someone asks me to do something, because I'm on my own a lot of the time, I'm going to say yeah. So like if that's in the middle of the day, I'm like, I can work when I want to. I can work later. Like if I go out in the middle of the day, I can just work later tonight. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to be flexible with my schedule, instead of like, this is what time I train, this is what time I eat, and this is what time I go to bed. Like, no, like I'm trying to find the balance. And unfortunately, the balance has been more towards, well, once my work is done, socialising. And like, I don't drink, but I now drink. Since I've been here, I've drunk 5 times.
In a month?
Yeah, which...
But
it would be heavy for a day. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. You know, I was talking about it earlier when my friend asked me to go out shopping. Yeah. So just a little shopping trip, helping him buy some new clothes and whatnot. It was a really nice day, like perfect weather, like not too warm, not too cold, like literally just perfect. And I'm like, oh, Friday, I'm like, oh, should we just go? Should we just go have a pint? And like, I don't really get the lingo. We know a pint is just not a pint now. I didn't know that then. No. But a pint turns into 2 pints, and then that turns into 4 pints. And I've been drinking pints.
I was going to say, pint drinker as well.
Well, he was trying to get me into beer. Beer, I don't know how people do it.
It depends. There's like so many different beers out there now. And there's gonna be one. There's got to be. Like
It's too bitter.
Hold on. Which beers have you been drinking?
I only tried one. It worked. Begin with it. Amstel.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah. And then I went to cider. Cider's nice. It's a bit sweeter.
Which ciders? Are we going like pear ciders, apple ciders?
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was.
You don't even know what
I think it was an apple cider.
Okay.
But yeah, then we ended up coming back in at 2:00 in the morning. On our way back, we bought a bottle of wine to sit in the apartment and drink.
Right.
We didn't drink the whole bottle though, luckily. And then went to McDonald's. Right, have you ever seen the chicken nugget and chicken select box?
Yeah.
See, I was amazed at that. It was so good. So you get like 6 chicken nuggets or something, or 10 chicken nuggets, and you get like 4 chicken selects.
Oh wait, no, I've not seen that. I thought you meant like, have I seen the boxes that come out like
chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
It's like a box like that,
right.
But it's half chicken selects, half chicken nuggets. It was
I've
so
never
good.
seen that.
It was so good. We were both like, oh, this is the best thing.
So not only has Poppy been going out all the time, she actually lives directly opposite of McDonald's.
Yeah, the first day I was here, I ate normally that day because I just brought... No. The day I moved in, I stuck to my plan and everything. Like, I brought all my meal prep. Mm-hmm. And then in the morning, like, I had to go to the supermarket. But I'd had a consultation call first thing. It was like at 8:30. Right. So I'm like, oh, I don't have time to go to the supermarket now. So I'll do this call. And I ended up doing work anyway. So like 10 o'clock, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not eating yet. So I'm like, oh, I'm actually starving. Like, can I wait to go to the supermarket and then cook when I get back? So I just went and got a sausage and egg McMuffin from McDonald's. But in all fairness, when everyone moves into an apartment, they get a takeaway.
Yeah, it's
I didn't get a takeaway.
What did I do? When I moved into the house, I went German doner kebab.
I've never had kebab.
I'm not into kebabs, but I've been, like, not paid. I've been given quite a few free meals from German doner kebab.
Ah, okay.
This is one of the only places that give me stuff now. I must have been 5 times. I always take my mates along with me as well because they give me like 2 or 3 people's worth of.
That's so good.
So I actually really like it. I sound like one of those people like I only work with brands I like. Well,
if you're giving it free,
honestly, it is so good. So like first night in the house, straight up to German doner kebab.
Fair.
It's got to be.
Fair. It's free meal. I'll be going every night.
That wasn't free actually.
Oh.
That one was I had to pay for that one.
Oh. But, that's rubbish. Then.
Yeah, if you want me to go again, send me a voucher.
Yeah, discount code.
Yeah. No, honestly, it's.
Do you work with any brands now?
Just my protein.
Yeah.
How long's that been now? Must be like 4 or 5 years that. I reckon. But I was using them before it.
Yeah. Fair.
I only work with brands that I enjoy and used before. No, I had there was some like it was called Gymfluencers Agency or something.
Yeah, loads of them messaged me.
Fuck me, they send some shite.
Do they?
Yeah, I had some horrible shit from them. What was it?
That's why I stopped.
I was like, I didn't even put stuff on the stories, and they were chasing me for stories and stuff. I was like, it's vile. I was like, I'm gonna try it. If I like it, then yeah, I'll put it up on my story. If I don't like it, it's not going anywhere near it. So they sent me these. Okay, it was like an alcohol-free, like gin and something.
See, this is what I don't understand.
Yeah,
why are you getting alcohol-free alcohol? Do people like the taste? I don't think it's the taste that people want. I think it's the feeling of alcohol that people want. I've been
sent some by a guy that I had on the podcast called On Beer, and that's got all these like botanicals in that are supposed to give you like the buzz of having a drink.
Oh, really?
Didn't make me feel like I had the buzz of having a drink.
Did you have enough though?
I had. I spoke to the guy. I was like, "How many do I need to have for it to like take a?" Do I have to be here like having 10 pints of the stuff? And he's like, "No, like 2 or 3, you should be sound." So I was like, I had 2 of them. And I just felt a bit weird.
If you're going out, how many pints would it take you to feel it?
See, so me and the footy lads say this all the time. So we go back to the pub after a game.
Mm.
After a game, like you can feel it after like one or two pints, and you sat there like shit,
dehydrated.
like feel that.
Yeah.
But then like other nights it could be I don't know, like 6, 7, 8. I don't know.
I think
it completely depends
like
on
where you are and stuff as well. I think
Yeah.
when you're in clubs and there's like music, there's a lot going on, like you don't realise that you're drunk
until you step outside and it just hits you.
Yeah, or like you don't even realise then because you're just that far gone.
Yeah. But for me, I've noticed it depends how tired I am. If I'm really tired, I can be like I can get like feel really drunk really quick.
Yeah.
Or I can have nights where like 2 or 3 pints, I'm like, shit, I'm feeling this, and then that feeling just lasts for like ages until I'm then drunk. It's weird. So I don't know. It completely depends on how much of it I'm tired now.
So I feel like there's a line where it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
I never get to the line. I sprint across it like
just like
it's like I don't know. I don't know where that line is, and I've always been like that's why I stopped drinking because I never knew when to stop. So when we went out on that Friday after going shopping, like the next day I was throwing up until 2 o'clock.
Really?
I didn't throw up on the night. Not that I can think of. I don't think I did.
This is probably the fitness
recovery. And I was just like, I literally laid in bed like, I can't do this. I can't actually do this. How do people do this every week? I've not drunk since then. I did go to the pub the other day and just had 2.
See, I've drank since then. Have you got a problem?
That was like 2 weeks ago.
See, we were joking about this being a therapy session and we needed a therapy. Are you struggling?
No, I'm fine. I'm going out this week. So it's his birthday. Yeah. My only friend in Manchester, it's his birthday. Of course, I've got to go out.
Yeah.
But then after that, well, I have chilled out a little more since being here. Like this week.
Since Friday.
No, that was chill though. Just catching up with mate. That's just what normal people do. They just go and have a pint.
Yeah, obviously.
So I had 2 pints, water.
Fair enough.
So stop making me to be an alcoholic.
I drink myself too, but like I say this, but like I've been trying to not just go to the pub for the sake of going to the pub because one, I'm getting bored of it. Like some of the lads that I see, I only ever see them go to the pub. I'm just like, I'm getting a bit bored of this. So the other week we went for a walk on a Sunday around Delamere Forest and went for a pub lunch. And then it turned into a day session. I was driving though as well, so I couldn't even drink. But literally got home at like 11 o'clock on a Sunday. My mates were just bladdered.
Yeah. But I'm not like an advocate of drinking. Like I think
there's a place.
I think like now I've kind of got to where I want to be in terms of like fitness. Like I don't necessarily want to be bigger.
Bodybuilding?
No, that's done now. I don't want to get much bigger. So I'm now in a place where I want to find a spot where I can happily maintain, like I can live my life, but then also look half decent. I'd like to be a bit leaner than what I am right now.
For what reason though?
Just for myself, really.
Right.
I just want to, because I've been diet surplus for so long. Whenever I have been lean, it's been very short-lived. And I'd like to just sit a little leaner year-round. I'm not saying like I want abs and striations in my delts and stuff. Like
I don't think I've ever had striations in my delts.
I want to just look a little leaner, look more athletic, because I've never sat like that for a while. But I know that right now I don't want to live the lifestyle that's required to look like that.
It's a bit of a give and take, isn't it? Like if you want the enjoyment side of things, you've just got to accept that you're not going to be as lean.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't ever intentionally bulk. I just stop tracking around November because I have that much social stuff on with work dues, footy dues, like all sorts of stuff, and I just think I can't be asked. Yeah. So like last year, I ended up going up to, I think the heaviest weight I saw was like 246 pounds.
That's
That's 17 stone 4,
That's,
which is the heaviest I've ever seen on the scale. And now I haven't weighed myself for a couple of days, but I was like,
do you class as overweight?
Yeah.
Before my diet this year, I was obese. And I'm actually buzzing.
I don't think I've got quite that far. I'm the very upper limit of overweight.
See,
I think my height helps with that though.
See, when I were obese, like I looked, and I'm like, oh, I wonder like if I'm classed as like obese. And I would literally just on the brink of it. It's not like I was morbidly obese or anything. And I'm like, what? I mean, I'm not fat.
Yeah.
Like, I was carrying body fat quite a lot. I remember going downstairs and like, Mom, I'm classed as obese. And you're like, you're taking it too far now. This is ridiculous.
How funny is it when parents just not understand?
Oh, God, it's caused so much stress.
Well, not stress, but like just them
arguments and like you getting annoyed at them questioning things. But like now I've kind of come away from pushing things as much. I do kind of understand why, because especially bodybuilding, if you're dieting and you're dieting hard, like you get cranky and you do put it out on the people who are closest to you. Yeah. And you are a dickhead. It looks like a really sad way of living, and to be honest, I've come away from it and thought the same. Like, part of me's like,
I spoke to you about this a while back.
Yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't bother. Like, but you were so far into like the bodybuilding thing, you were just like, no, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I literally didn't go on holiday for 2 years because I didn't feel like I deserved it.
Wow. That's deep.
Because it were a lot of things. So like my business wasn't where I wanted it to be. I actually loved my routine, like on a day-to-day. Like I loved going to the gym. It was the highlight of my day. I wanted to progress, but it was mainly like the business side stuff. Like I don't have time to piss about going on holiday. But I now realise that actually taking time off and not working all the time is beneficial for your business.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, because when I come away from business, like I had a week on holiday. I still do check-ins. I just moved my check-ins around, so I had a couple of days off where I wasn't working at all, just WhatsApp messages. And when I got back, I was so ready to get back to work. Like the first day back, I was like, yes, like just so fresh. Like my mind's clear. I was so creative. So
you can get burnt out with it.
Yeah.
Like I got burnt out with the gym. Just my body was just knackered, so I took.
That's been me.
I'd had like 6 months solid and doing a training plan, and I was just like, I need a week off here. I'm just goosed. And it ended up like when you actually look at my last and next session, it was nearly 2 weeks, and that is the longest I've ever taken off the gym, other than going on a holiday for. Oh fuck! It's 14 years I've been going to the gym in October. So, yeah, it's one of them. Like, it's definitely worth taking time off things, especially if you've been at it for so long, so consistently.
So focused.
There was like Alex Hormozy actually did a quote with Chris Williamson the other day, and it was something like, "If you party too hard in your 20s, in your 30s, then you're an underskilled, overpartied person. But if you work too hard in your 20s, then you're an overskilled, underpartied person in your 30s. So you almost regret not enjoying your 20s as much.
Yeah.
Because all you've done is worked. Life's there to enjoy as well as sort of build businesses. And your business might not quite do as well, but it could do so much better just from having time off and enjoying yourself.
I'm someone who loves my business, and I love I love progression in general. Like, no matter what it is, if I can see myself getting better at something, like I want to do everything I can to make something better.
Yeah.
So like,
so bad for it.
Yeah, like I just wish I could do something half-assed. Like if I started painting, I'd be looking to be like the next
Picasso,
yeah. That's making you see it.
Your view out there, the inspiration.
That's all.
First painting of the car park.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. Like, from my background, I'm an accountant, so everything I do is numbers. So if there's something I can track with numbers, it's getting tracked, and it's like it gets to the point where I'm like, I just need to forget about it.
And that's the thing, like with what I was talking about on my story the other day when he messaged, because if I look at just the numbers, like I'm not progressing the way that I want to. But if I actually deep it, like from stopping in-person personal training, I had to take a step back with income and both clients because not all the clients I had wanted to come with me online, and that's fine. Like some of them were like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, like they don't know how to use the phone. People in the 50s definitely do, but like they don't want that. Some people just want in person, and that's completely fine to want an in-person personal trainer. So I knew I had to lose clients, and also taking like my clients were paying me less. So I'd taken a step back financially, and I've just been looking at them numbers like, oh, I'm not earning as much as what I used to be. So like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. Like I'm not progressing with my training. Like I've not been going to the gym as much. Like I'm seeing my physique like wither away. I do think I've lost a little bit of muscle because I've basically had like a month off for both health reasons and just generally needing a break. So I feel like I'm not progressing, like I'm taking a step back with everything. And I've not taken a moment to realise how far I've come. Like going from being an in-person personal trainer to an online coach, that's a big jump because like you can scale your business so much more online. And like moving out on my own, this has like been a massive goal of mine. I've been stressing about not being able to move out since I was literally like 15. Because I remember
for someone that said that they don't stress a lot, you've said a lot of things.
When I say stress, I think a lot and I calculate a lot. But I don't get like a feeling of like I'm stressed. I'm so much more chilled than what I used to be. But like when I was 16, I Googled like the average mortgage repayment, average like council tax, like bills and stuff. Oh yeah. And like then minimum wage. I don't know why we're looking at minimum wage because I wasn't even on minimum wage then.
No.
But I Googled it all, like an annual cost, like then I worked out how much tax you're paying and blah 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 blah. And for the whole year, you're like you've got £100 in your name. And I'm like, that £100 has probably got to go on food. X, Y, and Z. No, I calculated food into that.
And actually fun money, as I call it.
Yeah, fun money. I call it fun money as well. Like, I like what a miserable way of living my life. I'm just paying to live, and it stressed me out from that day. Yeah, and I'm like, I'll never be able to move out on my own. Like I'll have to move out with someone else, and I want my own space. Like now I'm on my own. I don't want to live with anybody else. I can't see myself getting a partner and moving with them.
Right.
Unless I had a bigger space. This is only quite small, but yeah. I just cleaning up after someone.
No.
Yeah, I know. And I've stressed about it for so long.
The average person in the UK moves, like, gets a house, like mortgage. I'm sure it was like...
He keeps going up now.
It's gone over 30, I think.
Yeah.
So...
But do you think
worried about that at 16?
But do you think
literally halfway there?
That's people don't want to buy? Because I've always been taught like you need to buy a house. That's the one way to do it because renting's a waste. I always grew up with that mindset, and it wasn't until my sister said to me like, "Why are you trying to buy a house? You don't even know where you want to live."
Yeah.
So like, just
I think it depends on what you want.
Yeah.
Like if you're like we were talking before, you're wanting to be here for say a year, then you finish your year rent and then you can go wherever you want. Whereas if you want to like make roots somewhere, then potentially buying somewhere is potentially better if you're going to be, let's say, 5 years, because that property is going to go up in value most likely. But in terms of the house price and everything, they've gone through the roof. Like what you can get now compared to what you could get, I don't know, even like 5 years ago is ridiculous. And then not only that, the houses have gone up, but also the mortgage rates have gone up. So everything's just through the roof, and because of that, then you've got rents going up even higher on top of that, because obviously landlords want to make money at the end of the day, because they're taking the risk that if anything goes wrong, they've got to fix it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm thinking now I'm renting, this would just be so easy. Like, I've got a couple of friends who are buying like houses and stuff, and they're ripping up carpets and doing that decorating. And like, I've literally just come here. It's a blank canvas. I'm not allowed to put stuff on the walls. That's one less thing to think about. I don't have to, like, if anything goes wrong, there's a concierge guy downstairs.
Sorted.
And I'm like, oh, like when I moved in, I was saying, like, I'm not going to call mum and dad. I'm going to figure it out for myself. I want to prove to them that, like, I'm an independent, like, bitch, and I can do this all on my own. What's in here? Like, so what? Not getting warm. Looking under, like, I don't want to touch something and, like, fuck anything up. So my dad's a concierge going, hi, the water's cold. Like, I don't know how to turn it on. Anyway, it comes up. He's like, oh, that's how you do it. Sound, thank you. Didn't know where the electric meter was. So I asked him for that. And then I also asked him, we've got like built-in broadband and shit. I don't really understand it. So there's boxes and stuff that are built in. So I needed like a serial code, but I couldn't get it off the wall. He didn't know how to either. But like, I thought, I'm not calling my mum and dad to ask them these questions.
I think it's individual to each house. Like,
but like, it's so easy. Like, I don't have to. I just got to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Pay the rent.
That's it. Pay.
And then
you're done.
Yeah, sound.
Anything goes wrong, someone comes around and fixes it.
Yeah, don't have to come out of my pocket.
But that's also why rents are going so high, because of mortgages.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a weird space. I think the interest rates are coming down, which should help things, but yeah, it's not cheap.
We don't know politics and stuff like that, but I feel like we're fucked.
Oh yeah, like I've not listened to the news since the whole pandemic thing, because it was just.
Yeah, I stopped listening to it. Well, that was the only time I ever listened to it. Yeah.
So depressing. So like ever since I've not listened to it, I didn't vote the last couple of times. I don't keep up with it because they're all knobheads.
See, I don't. I wasn't going to vote this time, but I was like, there's some women still out there now who cannot vote. Yeah. And it feels wrong for a female to not vote because we've fought for this. Yeah. And then I didn't really know who. I thought I'm not even qualified enough to vote. Like, I don't know anything. But there was a guy on TikTok. He was so good. Oh. Like, he broke all the manifestos down and he gave like an unbiased opinion apart from reform. Because he was a black guy and he was like, this is not good. This is not good. But like the policy, like, you're like, I'm not gonna lie, the policy and like this is what I believe, and like this is a good policy, but I don't like the racism behind it. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. But yeah.
See, my issue is with it is they say all this stuff to get
they just lie.
And they never do any of it.
Yeah, they lie.
So I never bother with it. And everyone's like, oh, you should vote. You've got the option to vote and your vote matters. And I'm like, it doesn't, because I don't believe anything they say. So
I don't.
I'd rather other people vote so their vote goes towards whatever they want. Whereas mine's just a vote for the sake of voting.
Yeah. And it's like conservatives were like, they basically didn't want to be in.
I couldn't tell
because of the manifesto, like, it was literally so bad. Yeah.
All I know was that Keir Starmer was a helmet.
Yeah.
He's an absolute wet wipe.
Rishi, he seemed like a right twat on it. There were a video and it were like a NHS worker, and she asked him a question like, well, what are you going to do for like these people in the NHS and blah, 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 blah. For people like myself and my colleagues. Someone said like a remark behind him and he literally laughed in her face. And I was like, that is so bad. And that, for me, I was like, conservatives, absolutely, well, with the manifesto anyway, I was like, absolutely not. Yeah, it was that itself was so bad. Like, they were trying to get young people to go to like do community service or like join the army or something. What's it called?
Conscription. basically.
No.
Uh,
Basically, when I turn 18, the ball got to...
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But before we turn this into a political and we get in trouble, let's move on.
I don't know anything about politics and whatever.
I think in a roundabout way we got
I do actually like talking about politics though. So I have to bring it back because I like to see other people's views on it because I don't know enough. I want other people's opinions so I can form my own.
My only issue with bringing up politics with other people is that if you don't agree with what they say, they get the back up. And then it's an issue that you have different views instead of just being adults and being like, we've got two different
So you just know who you should and shouldn't.
Yeah, there's some. So I think in a way we got to
the second question.
How your mind has evolved over time.
I've been talking about politics.
God knows. I actually don't know. Let's have a look.
Next question for the interview. Do you think I've got the job?
I think you're doing well.
Oh.
Yeah, a couple more questions might seal the deal.
Let's see if I can stick to the question then.
Do you have a regular fitness routine or daily habit that keeps you motivated and on track?
No. Not enough.
Next question.
I used to. I think what I always do with my clients is every week on a Monday we've got a group chat and I ask everyone what's everyone's plan of action for the week. It's like what days we're going to go train, and I think planning your week out in advance.
Yeah.
And just seeing it as things as a non-negotiable rather than seeing something as an option is kind of like the only thing I have. I have got a routine.
Is there like so how do you go about planning your week out then? Do you get involved in the whole plan of action thing?
Yeah, so for myself, I'll look at the start of the week. With my job, it kind of changes. Like calls come in last minute, like consultations. They're not booked a week in advance. They're probably like booked
20 minutes.
If I'm talking to someone, I'm like, oh, you free to jump a call now?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, let me know time that works best for you, and then I'll just slot my stuff around it. Yeah. Like today, I was going to go to the gym, but it ended up being a really busy day because I've had more calls. So I thought, just do a bit of cardio today and I'll go tomorrow instead. Yeah. So mine does change. But I will generally look at my week and choose my preferred days of training. Yeah. And then if it needs to be changed last minute, I'll just do that. But with my clients and stuff, like, they'll do it themselves and then we'll almost like, right, this is what you said you were going to do. Did you do that? Yeah,
this is the thing that's got to come from them at the end of the day, isn't it? But like the way I've slacked on it a little bit recently, but the way I do it is on like a Saturday or Sunday, I'll plan my week out in my Mac on the calendar and like allocate times to stuff and just stick to it as close as possible. And I am a sucker for a tick list.
I love Google Calendar, mate.
Love tick lists. Literally, like, you know, the notes app. I have so many notes.
And do you ever have your notes and then you take a couple off and then you've done something extra so you just write?
Yeah. Like, oh, I did that today. And it'd be like,
change someone's nutrition plan.
At lunch, I had that today.
I just added 15 grams of dark chocolate to someone's meal plan. Updated.
# win. But I also
leave the apartment.
I also write them as well. I like a written ticket. Yeah. Like for work, they're making me move to Microsoft Loop now.
I don't even know that is.
Yeah, I didn't know until like 2 weeks ago. It's basically the notes app on a computer.
No.
It's shit. But for work, I write that out in a notebook.
No.
Like I've got loads of notebooks just full of shit that I need to do.
It does make you feel good though.
Yeah, it's a little dopamine hit, isn't it?
I think this is something that I'm a big fan of, like rewarding yourself for doing something. I find it really difficult sometimes, especially like the week before my period, to do anything. And I'm talking, sometimes it can be as bad as I can't be asked getting out of bed to brush my teeth. Right. Or like, I'm ready to go to bed, I can't be asked brushing my teeth. I can't be asked getting a shower. I can't be asked cleaning up a dish.
Right.
So and it does end up getting a bit of a mess. I'm a naturally messy person. I wish I was that person who could eat a meal, just go wash it up.
I get so
and,
busy sometimes.
And then put it out, dry it all up, put it away, do it all straight away. Or when you get a shower, you put all your clothes away afterwards. No, I'm just throw it there. And the week before my period, it gets an absolute shit tip. And then I just can't be asked cleaning up after myself. I find it, I can't pull myself together to do it. So what I say, if I want a coffee, for instance, I'm like, right, reward yourself with coffee afterwards. Do it and then you can have a coffee. Or do it and then you can watch Netflix, or then you can go do whatever afterwards. Reward yourself with something. Obviously, when you're dieting, if you've done a day, take it a day at a time, take a meal at a time. When you've done the thing that you're supposed to do, your steps, reward yourself. Something that could just be Pepsi Max. I could be binge watching something on Netflix. I'm a massive believer in rewards. Treat yourself like a dog.
To be fair, I have to do that with editing because I'm such a bad procrastinator with editing.
See, I love editing.
Oh,
when I
editing a podcast.
Yeah, this is why mine's just an audio when I don't edit it.
Luckily, this Riverside software will spit out a load of clips for me, so I don't have to do those clips anymore. I have to get clips for YouTube, which are slightly longer.
When I did YouTube,
your short stint on YouTube.
I loved editing them. I know it's probably because it was very new, but
I found that I always had too many clips. And I've got 45 minutes worth of clips for a 10-minute video.
You know what? That's good, because if you watch YouTube properly, and watch the editing and how these good YouTubers do it, they're all tiny little clips.
Yeah. But there's so many layers to it, and I'm just that's too much.
YouTubers, hats off to them.
Yeah.
They get paid well for what they do. They get paid. Yeah. But honestly, it's actually quite mind blowing. Do you know? Have you heard of Ryan Trahan? I think his editing is probably one of the best. It's not anything really fancy, and you wouldn't think it's really good editing until you actually and the filming behind it. And it looks like he does it all on his own. Right. He's probably he has got an editor, I think, but he looks like he's filming it all on his own. Yeah, it'll just go from him talking, and then it's a voiceover, and then
See, I have to constantly remind myself. I'm I have a 9 to 5. This isn't what I do. And then I've got to try and do all of this. Obviously I've been in work today, and then came to film a podcast, and then at some point before Sunday, it is what we're on now, Tuesday. This is early for me to film a podcast. It's usually a Thursday or Friday, sometimes a Saturday. So I need to remind myself that obviously my stuff isn't going to be as good as theirs because I've just not got the time to do it.
Yeah. See, I'd like to get back into YouTube, but my life's just not that interesting. And even if it's a lot more interesting now, and it has been recently, but
it'd just be day in the life vlogs all the time.
Yeah, and I don't watch them.
Day to day doesn't change that.
No, exactly. So it's something that I do want to do again, but then with the podcast, you can just talk.
Chat shit.
You can chat shit.
We're on second question and 54 minutes in.
Yeah, we're doing well. It's a bit different when you're on your own though, because you can't make conversation with yourself.
Do you ever feel like you're going a bit crazy?
When you actually think about it, you're just talking to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially when you see yourself in the camera. Oh, you don't see yourself there. I see myself on a screen. I'm just
When I film stuff, were you commenting what the hell in the Coronation Street?
Oh yeah. I was so glad you thought that it was a joke. I was what if he gets really offended?
No, because I know I'm trying to be
I've tried to do videos like that before, and it's...
You know what? It's actually quite easy.
No, but I could not watch myself back doing it. I was
See, I can't go that I'm being stupid. I can, and I watch it back and I laugh at myself.
I laugh at myself, but I would end up in my footy WhatsApp group, and that would be it. I'm done.
I laugh at myself, and I'm like, oh, do you know when it's just funny to you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this just funny to me? Like, or are other people?
Usually is, isn't it? It's usually the way it goes.
But those videos actually go down quite well.
Yeah. Like, I think people like them, and then obviously it keeps people engaged because you're constantly changing the angles. I posted some videos a couple of months ago, and I literally changed the angle on every single sentence, and I got so many messages going, "George, just sit still for fuck's sake."
Really?
Like, George, stay still. And I was like, gotta keep you engaged.
Yeah, like them ones where people like walking around the kitchen and stuff.
That's literally what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
I was literally like in my office, on the landing, on the stairs, in the hallway, in my living room, in the kitchen.
They are hard work.
Yeah. I was working at the same time as well, so I was running upstairs, wiggling my mouse to make sure my team stayed unavailable and not away. Yeah, it's...
When you are filming and you deep it is actually quite weird. Like I knew there was someone outside of there, and you can hear. I can't hear people in the apartments next to me, but you can hear people outside, and other people can hear in.
Yeah.
And I'm quite near the lift, so if people are like walking around, they can hear me sing. They can hear me. They can hear all this conversation. They can hear what music I'm playing. So like, when I was doing it, I think I'll have the clip somewhere, but I'm literally like, can't talk, can't do it, because I knew I had a bit of an audience.
Yeah.
And when I'm filming downstairs in the gym, the first time I did it, we're talking quite quiet because it echoes, and there were people working outside. But then the second time I did it, I was just like, you know what? It's my job. It's what I do. Content creator. No. But it's a part of my job. Like being self-employed.
Like you've got to do so much more. Yeah. Like it's marketing, social media, editor.
And then you're an accountant, a graphic designer, salesman.
Yeah. There's so
a coach.
Yeah, you've actually got to do the coaching as well.
Yeah, like there's so much involved. Like when people say online coaching is easy, like in the grand scheme of things,
like you try and get enough clients to make a living.
Yeah,
it's not
like people think that they're going to put online coach in the bio and they're going to get 100 clients. No. It does not work like that in the slightest.
No,
like just because you've got online coach in your name, don't mean that you or like just saying like, I'm announcing my online coaching business.
You know what makes me laugh? It's got a big announcement on Tuesday, and it's like everyone knows what it is. You know, obviously you're an online coach.
Yeah. And you've never coached anyone before in your life. I didn't even set out to do this. It was a bit of an accident for me.
How?
So in lockdown, some guy messaged me asking for like a training plan. I'm like, you do realise like I'm not a PT? And he's like, yeah, but you know more than me. And they were like, oh yeah, I'll pay you. And I'm like, no, like I don't want you to actually pay me because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I started online coaching him. Shite. The worst, probably possible service ever. They were all just through WhatsApp. I think I literally just wrote everything down on the notes app, sent it, copy and pasted it and sent it to him. And then like, all right, I'll check in with me. Didn't send any pictures, didn't even weigh himself.
Just like, love it.
Yeah, like, I'm like, what was I expecting? Like, what feedback was I expecting, like, from him? Basically, it was just DMing him. And then I'm like, right, this is obviously not working. So I need to, like, collect this data because I'm also, like, reading through this conversation to see, like, what I said last week.
Yep.
So then I went onto Google Sheets and I was doing everything. You know what? I love Google Sheets. I go back to Google Sheets any day. My sheets... What? So good from both a client perspective and also like a coach perspective. Like, it's so easy for me.
See, I didn't like it because I use Excel for my job and stuff, so I was trying to do all the shortcuts and stuff, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, see, I got all the shortcuts on it, but from a client perspective, the app is so much better because
what are you using?
Kahunas. Yeah, so it is a lot easier for them. Like, it's a lot more user friendly, especially on a phone. Like, Google Sheets is sound when you're on the laptop and if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
But the app is so much better for the client.
Yeah.
You do just get used to what you're using. But yeah, then when people are asking me for advice, I just thought, I'm doing online coaching for free, and then I started charging people like literally £50 a month because that's all I dare ask for.
Yeah.
And then it slowly increased, and then there was like a period where I want more clients, and I just want more clients.
Yeah, expecting them to just turn up.
And that's clearly not working. Like, I think I'll literally just like post some pictures of myself and motivational quotes. I'm like, 5 tips on how to grow your glutes. Like 5 exercises that you like. No, like it's not gonna get you clients. Like, so then you have to take it a bit more seriously. And we're here. Made it into a business.
You did?
Didn't even mean to. No, I did. In the end, I did make it a conscious decision to do this.
I think, like, obviously I have a small bit of coaching on the side as well, but it's pretty similar. Like, I'd been going to the gym for, how long have I had this account going for? 2018. So I was already in the gym for 8 years, I think, at the point of me starting my Instagram account. And I just started it because my mates were sort of into the gym, but not really into like the social side of it.
Yeah.
So I just started to like meet like-minded people. And because I was going to like body power and stuff like that, so I just started it up, and it was just to post stuff to like help people. And then it started building up, and then I'd get messages of people saying like, "Oh, I thought you were a PT." Like whenever I'd talk about my day job, you're like, "Oh, I thought you were a PT." I'm like, "No,
yeah,
I just do this for fun."
Yeah.
And then like it got more and more, so I ended up taking a couple of people on just to test the waters with it on Google Sheets as well. I was like, I'll get my qualification just so I'm covered on that point of view.
Everyone says that. You literally do not need it.
You don't need it.
You don't need it in the slightest, and it doesn't cover you anyway because it doesn't teach you anything.
No, I just thought I'd get it because, like, if someone goes, "Are you qualified?"
I know so many online coaches who aren't PTs, and like no one ever asked me, "Am I a qualified PT?" I know what you mean in terms of it makes you feel a little better about it.
Yeah, because like if someone turns around and goes, "You're not even qualified PT," you're like, true.
Right. I think what a lot of people think when they go to the gym themselves that they can teach other people how to do it. Yeah. I remember going to the gym with a friend. The form was horrific, and I'm trying to tell them how to do something, and I'm literally like, "What? Like, just do it. Just do it properly. Just do it." And that was when I realised, like, how do you actually teach someone?
Yeah, it's one thing knowing how to do it yourself.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people think just because they're going to the gym and they've made progress that they can help other people. It's just not the case.
I've had an issue recently. Like, obviously, I do all the rowing stuff, and I've offered people like form help because,
like myself.
No, to be fair, you're actually not that bad.
I'm not.
No, I've told you that you were. The video that you sent me was not actually that bad. Like, some of the stuff I see in the gym is horrendous, and I go to like a High Rocks gym now as well.
Yeah.
Not because I want to do High Rocks; it's just a High Rocks affiliated gym.
Yeah.
But some of the PTs there have started to give their clients rowing to do as part of the workout plans. They can't row themselves now. Like, it's a really simple movement, but it's so easy to get wrong at the same time.
Yeah.
It's very similar to deadlifting. Like, deadlifting is literally standing up. Sounds really simple, but it's so easy to get wrong and get injured. I see it all the time.
There's so many cues to doing a deadlift, doing a squat.
But in essence, it is standing up.
Yeah.
Similar with rowing, it's a similar movement sat down, really. But little tweaks and things can like cause really bad back injuries. And the PTs don't know how to row themselves. Like, I've seen them giving them cues, and I'm like, that's wrong. That's wrong. Obviously, I know it from my background of actually rowing. So Yeah, it's similar with movements. I see, like, when I've been in like pure gym and JD gyms, the amount of people that I've seen gone from being a PT's client to being a PT in there. Like, you only started the gym about a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, you barely know the ropes yourself.
You know what I think's mad? I know so many lifeguards and swim teachers who can barely swim themselves. So for the lifeguards training, you had to like get certain times.
Yeah.
And half of the lifeguards were so petrified over the time swims because they didn't think they were going to get it. And it's like, honestly, it's so bad. It's like lucky that stuff rarely happens.
Yeah.
But I think when stuff does happen, you don't really follow what you're taught anyway.
Yeah, just
like,
instinct, doesn't it?
I jumped in twice in 6 years of working there. That were very lucky on my part. Oh, shush it. A dry lifeguard's the best lifeguard. But the first time I jumped in, a bit of a weird situation, but there were kids underneath like the inflatable. Basically, it used to tip over,
right.
And this little kid were holding onto it like in the air, like
straight underneath.
And then anyway, it tipped back and he got caught underneath. So I jumped in and literally just scooped this little boy out, and I was stood up as I'd done it. And the little boy just went and like hugged me. So I walked back with him. Like I had my shoes on and everything, and like my boss was there, and I'm literally just cuddling this little boy, like it's all right. And it's like it's just not how it was supposed to be done.
What should you have
done? I should have swam back with him.
Even though you could walk.
Yeah, it's just getting them out of the pool. It's just quicker. Walking in was so long, and like right. I was walking and it was here.
Right. I thought you meant like literally.
No. And then the other time I jumped in, when I actually think back, like, I once was teaching a little girl and she couldn't stand back up. So she was floating. I thought, I'm not jumping in for this girl. Like, she's not drowning. She's just laid on her back crying because she can't stand back up.
Yeah.
And she's not listening because she's crying. And I couldn't reach her, but I could reach her hair.
No.
You know what? One jumping in.
And you were saying you've always had bad bosses. They're not a little bit of a bad employee at the same time.
Yeah, but that meant if I jumped in, an alarm would go off. We'd have to fill out the form. Everyone would have to get out of the pool. The parents would have to come down. It's stressful for the other kids. It's disrupting everyone else. So it's technically the right thing. She wasn't even drowning. Yeah. And then I had another little boy. This is when I actually had to jump in because I couldn't reach him. But I literally, I'm just thinking of all the different situations now.
Dear.
But basically,
the
walk, it's all right, I don't work there anymore. I'm not qualified anymore. So basically, I'd walk down the stairs and like, slow down, bottom of the steps. Just fell in. And then he can't stand back up. Never been in pool before. Couldn't reach. I had to just jump in, picked him up, chucked him on the side. Oh, and then I've had another situation where a little boy wanted to go to the deep end. Like, you can't swim, you can't go in the deep end, you're going to drown.
Yeah.
Anyway, kept telling him off. I was looking one way, and then he looked like he were walking out, and then he just bolted. So I just got off my chair. He jumped in, and as soon as he jumped in, I got him. I must have got him. I think he was wearing a t-shirt.
Right.
Asians who were dressed, whatever. Literally just went in, probably grabbed him by his t-shirt and pulled him out. I didn't even like.
Did he even get wet? Did he even land in the water?
My arm got this deep in, so I literally just grabbed him, pulled him out, and he didn't even like touch the sides or anything. Like I didn't pull him out to the side to get him to climb out. I'd literally just gone.
Just ragged him.
And then I'm like, "What do you think you're doing?" I was like, shouting at this kid. And then like I said to Dad, like, I've probably sworn at him, like I've shouted at him. And he's like, "Good on you." You're like, "Are you good?" Like, as if this is just happening. Proper went in on this little kid.
Oh dear.
It'll be like 10. Don't know how I did it.
10?
It was 10. Like,
and you've literally just
ragged him out.
Jim's played enough.
I was annoyed. Wow. That was such a good job, by the way.
Jeez.
What were we even talking about before this?
Do you have a regular routine? How long have we been on? Hour and 10. Should we do one more?
Yeah, do one more.
Can you share an experience where you hit a fitness setback or struggled? What did you learn from it and how did it contribute to your growth?
I've had a lot. The main ones that come to mind is my back. So, not being able to touch my toes, going back into the gym too soon, and what I realised there was like mindset's a huge thing because when you're injured, if you're anxious over hurting yourself even more, and it's really easy to do with back injuries. This is another thing that I hate about people thinking that they've pulled the back, they've done the slipped a disc in the back when your back is a muscle. The back has muscles in it.
Yeah.
So when it aches, it's normal. It's normal for a back to ache. There's a difference between the two. There's pain and then there's aching. And people often think that an ache is like, oh my God, I've pulled my back, I can't train. Like, no, it's just sore.
Well, it could be like a knot in your muscle.
Yeah. So anyway, when that happened, I definitely got in my own head about it and I got anxious over hurting myself again. So if something just didn't feel right, I'd absolutely lose my head. So I was big on like feeling certain my muscles working, like connecting with things, executing things well. And when stuff didn't feel the way that it's like quote unquote supposed to, I'd lose my head. I'm like, oh my God, it's my back, it's fucked again. And so I realised then, sometimes I'd leave the gym and I'm like, I've literally just been so dramatic there. Like after calming down from the situation, like I literally could have done that.
Yeah.
So understanding like injuries and like how to cope with them, like taking a moment to just breathe and go like, I can do it. It just doesn't feel the way that I want it to feel, but that will come with practice and time. And then another one was binge eating. So I don't know if I think you'll follow me back then. I don't know.
I think we've spoken about it before as well.
Yeah. So that was like a massive setback. So I'd done my first ever like serious diet. I'd come out of that quite badly because I'm someone who's very food focused. I love food. I'm greedy. I can eat for England. Got a bottomless pit stomach. And coming out of that work is, I think, it's a very distressing. It sounds dramatic, but it is a very distressing feeling. Like after looking like your best that you've ever looked, to then gaining all the weight back and feeling unconfident again in such a short period of time. And especially when you're sharing your journey online, you think it's the end of the world, everyone's going to judge you, people think that you're a fraud. And especially when you work in the industry as well, it caused a lot of stress. But I understand that and I understand how to support my clients through it.
Yeah.
So, and
in a way, it benefited you from a business perspective because you've sort of been there yourself.
Yeah, I've been there with like binging. I've been there with like being really injured, and there was like the two main things that people come across with. Yeah,
I've had a fair share. Obviously, with my knee being the main one. There was a point where I was probably overtraining legs and trying to play football at the same time. So quite often I'd pull my hamstring. I'd literally just sprint down the line and ping, gone. There was one that I had that was really bad, which I went for a physio session the other day and she felt like scar tissue at the bottom of my hamstring. She's like, have you ever had an injury here? And I was like, yeah, like 8 years ago. So that was still...
It's mad how it can still affect you.
Yeah, like I was just feeling it like really tight for a while and I wasn't feeling it whilst I was playing football, but then like it'd be bruised. So like there's obviously something wrong. And then she literally got like elbows into it and all sorts. I was in agony. But yeah, it's all right now, luckily. But yeah, the injury thing, the knee was the main one, and that was like people were asking me like, "Oh, how have you dealt with it?" And I'm like, obviously it's not ideal, but I can still do other things. Yeah. So I think the main thing is with when you get injured, you can still do other things most of the time.
You should do other things as well.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
You just got to pivot.
completely stop.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people do when it comes to any sort of setback is they just give up at the first hurdle. And sometimes you need to just go like imperfect action. Like doing something is better than nothing. Like you just simply throwing the towel in and throwing your toys out the pram. Like it's not going to get you anywhere. So sometimes you do have to realise just simply maintaining or like just trying to do something, even if it's not going to see you progressing, it's still better than absolutely nothing. So that I think that's like one of the main things. Like when someone comes across anything, that can just be simply like forgetting the lunch at work. Like, oh fuck this! I'm just gonna go to Greg's on my lunch break. Like, no. Most of the time, people work in an area where you can watch like a local Tesco Express or Sainsbury's local, and you can get something half decent.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's Uber Eats, and you can order decent stuff on Uber Eats.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I not live by, but like, just it is what it is. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Just control the controllables.
Yeah.
So, like, if you've got no control over the outcome, then don't stress about it. Just accept it for what it is and do what you can.
Yeah.
So, like with me, with my knee, I couldn't play football. I couldn't do legs in the gym, but I could do upper body, and I could do like ski erg for cardio.
You see it, like when people have broken arms and stuff, still train the other arm.
Yeah, because it can keep your muscle more.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah,
It's weird. But I've also heard about
because imbalances take years.
Yeah.
Like people think when people are like, oh, you need to do your unilateral work because you're gonna get imbalances. I'm like, I'm not saying you shouldn't do them, but I barely do any. The only unilateral stuff I do is a split squat.
I had to with my knee rehab. I
had to do bits and bobs for my back. Like I had to work on one side more than the other.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of work because they looked at the muscular imbalances, and this one was quite a lot. Well, not quite a lot smaller, but noticed. Like you could see it, and I had to do. It was 4 sets of everything on my bad leg and 2 sets on my good leg until it caught back up. And I had to do the same workout 3 days a week.
We've got to think as well, like, it takes years to create an imbalance. It's going to take years to get rid of it.
Well, it's like
just simply, like, when I was PTing, one of the PTs said, oh, do you ever get worried that you're going to, like, create an imbalance because you just show a client, like, single arm row? And I'm like...
Yeah, I do that every day, 10 times a day.
And I'm like, no, I've not, but now you've said it, I'm going to try. Like, it says, if I do one side, like, I'll just go and show me the other, like, even if it's only, like, 2 reps. But if you think about it, say you've got, like, 10 clients in a day, and you're showing, like, an exercise, and you do 2 reps. How many reps is that throughout the day? That's, like, 20 reps that you've done on one side. And then if you think about that 5 days a week, it does actually add up.
It adds up, but I don't think it would be significant.
I don't know, I don't, but when he said it, I started really thinking about it, so I did start to show him both sides, or I'd purposely choose, like, my non-dominant side to just to show him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, like, I was doing knee rehab for 5 months, so I had 5 months of 3 days a week of the same leg workout, where I was doing double the sets on this leg than that leg, and everything was unilateral, other than even calf raises were. Yeah, it was a lot. It was like, what did I have to do? Bulgarian split squat, single leg RDL, single leg glute bridge, single leg press, single leg hamstring.
You know what the worst one is? Holding stuff. I used to have to hold like a one-legged glute bridge.
Oh, I had to do a reverse lunge with a 5-second hold at the bottom.
It's the holds that are worst.
Disgusting.
Like, I used to have to do one where like a glute bridge and my leg were like stretched out. So basically you lay down.
On the floor.
Yeah, and it used to make my hamstring cramp so much. I used to hate that one. I still do it now from time to time. When I know my back gets bad, because I can tell one lat always cramps.
Right.
If it cramps too much, it does hit a nerve. So when I get a little more aware of it, so I have to start doing the rehab stuff again.
Yeah.
Every time I'm just like, I hate this.
Like I've not been doing legs for a while just because I've gone back to playing football and looking like 100 kilos around. Like I played footy on Saturday, my legs are still aching. I was meant to do legs yesterday, but I got from work and I was like, I'll have my dinner and then I'll go. I just didn't.
My calves are fucked from being in Manchester.
Walking.
Yeah, I just walk everywhere. I've not done too well today. I think I've only done like 5,000 steps. Oh no, I've done 8,700. So I'm doing all right. But like I've not been out for a walk yet.
Are you going out for a walk as well?
I probably will go out for a walk in a little bit, but I've not been out for an actual walk. That's just what I've done naturally, and I work from home.
That's decent.
Because I had to walk to the shop. So technically I have gone on a walk.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Like when I'm walking somewhere, I don't class it as going out for a walk because I've got a purpose.
Still counts, so.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's going back. What were we on? Going back to the
question.
The question. We've gone on some mad tangents.
From politics.
To you racking kids out of your house. It was about an experience where you hit a fitness setback or struggle. Yeah. So
yeah, binge eating, back injury.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're the sort of.
Obviously, every situation is going to be different with how you overcome it. But I think when you start to overcome little problems, it does help you to overcome bigger problems. Like,
you've got to break.
If anything happens to me now, I'm just like, all right, we'll find a way.
Yeah.
Like, let's say all my clients left tomorrow. I'm like, right, we'll find a way.
Yeah, you've got the experience of getting clients, so like it's worked before, it's going to work again.
Or like, if I break my leg tomorrow, I'll be like, sound.
Less steps.
Just get a wheelchair, start like,
What, down the canal?
Start rowing.
Yeah.
And then you use your legs, but
not with your technique.
I can't. But yeah, I think when you start to overcome little problems, and that can be just simply being more flexible with your food if you've forgotten something. Like I used to be an absolute stress head, taking all my meals to work, because I liked to cook things a certain way, and I wouldn't meal prep in advance. I'd cook every single day because I liked it didn't taste as good. But sometimes you do cause more problems for yourself with your lack of flexibility. So when you start being more flexible and you allow yourself to actually slip up and you allow yourself to make problems, and not problems like mistakes, that's the word I'm looking for. When you allow yourself to make mistakes, you get better at solving those problems, and it can just be something really small. Yeah, and then you do get better at with the big stuff. Like if I get injured now, I'm like, sound. Like I've got my elbow's a bit fucked at the moment because I decided to bench for the first time and go for a 1 rep max, but I knew it was the wrong thing to do.
This is a PT. I'm going to tell my clients not to do this.
Basically, everything I've said on this podcast today, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a type of coach. One of my clients even said it to me, like, I was telling her off, but like, I'm not telling her off, but I was saying like, I do this a certain way, like, just stop your set here, like, don't allow your form to break down, don't start swinging stuff. Then I'm at back end of my set, like Ronnie Coleman, swinging everything around, and she's like, "You definitely do," as she said, and she's doing. I'm like, I know.
I'm a trained professional.
But like, I know what I can get away with, like in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of like volume, like I know my form doesn't break. I know I can swing a couple of reps at the end, but my form not necessarily break down. The other thing that's breaking down is my tempo.
Experience brings that though, doesn't it? Like if you asked like one of your clients to do maybe a couple of forced reps, then there is a chance they might get injured. But if you've got the experience of knowing how to do it safely, then
like even with my diet, on the photo shoot prep, one of my clients wanted to push the diet a lot harder. She was already on low food, and I'm like, I think you're now at a point, you are lean, you look very good, this is the best you've ever looked. It's not worth pushing it that little extra bit, and I know you want to. We ended up pushing it because she was just adamant. So like, fine. I'm not going to stop it. If you want to do more, do more. I told her the consequences of doing this and whatnot. She didn't regret it in the end, but anyway, this is what coaching is about. It's all about working together.
Yeah.
But she asked me how many calories I were on. It were a lot lower than hers. Like, I'm 20 kilos heavier than her, so I should definitely not be on less calories than what she was.
How low are we talking?
I went no carb for 2 weeks.
How did you feel?
Shit.
And how many calories was that?
Probably around 1,000.
1,000 calories. That's like breakfast for me.
Yeah, I think I had some after training on a leg day. It changed from a day to day, but it wasn't.
I've had so much today, and I've just realised that you said 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
Go in the office,
but I'm not someone who can eat a lot of food, unfortunately.
Sure, you just said your stomach was a bottomless pit.
Yeah, I can eat a lot of food, but I will get fat if I eat a lot of food.
That tends to be what happens.
No. My maintenance is a lot lower than what you'd probably expect a girl of my size and a girl of like my activity levels. Like, I exercise probably a lot more than the average person, and you'd think I'd be able to eat a lot more than what I do.
So what is your maintenance then, roughly?
I don't really know at the moment, but whenever I diet, I've got to push my calories low to see scale weight dropping.
All right.
I am getting diagnosed with. I basically got diagnosed with PCOS.
Okay.
Spoke to a specialist. I spoke to the gynecologist. They said I had PCOS, and they diagnosed with me there and then. Then I spoke to somebody else. They said I don't have PCOS.
That's good. Conflicting answers.
I didn't think I had it, so when they told me I had it, I was a bit like,
yeah.
I'm not like the quote unquote normal. I think there is something. There is definitely something. I think it's more so PMDD. So basically, you get PMS, which is the feelings before your period, like really bad cramps, mood swings. But PMDD is that times 10. So
that's not ideal.
Feeling really, really shitty before your period. Not so nice thoughts around your period, like very extreme feelings.
Right. It's like major mood swings.
Very bad, very bad. So they're looking at diagnosing me with that. I do think there is something else, because I'm not recovering well at the moment.
Right.
So I don't know.
Could that potentially be to like stress of moving and everything, or?
Because I don't feel stressed. I don't know. This is the thing.
So because you don't feel stressed doesn't mean you're not stressed.
I know. I think maybe it could be stress because everything in my life's changed. I've gone like, I'm not in a relationship anymore. I don't PT anymore. I work from home. I will live on my own. I live in a new city. So like literally everything in my life has changed.
Makes people stressed out.
Yeah, but I don't feel stressed. Like, I love it. I love it here, and I'm happy. I'm very happy. Like, so it's hard to say that I am stressed because I don't feel it.
I think there's like many different ways of being stressed though.
Yeah.
Like, just because you don't have the typical stressed feeling, like you're worried about stuff, doesn't mean your body's not reacting in like a different way, maybe.
Yeah, like I've went back in training hard this week.
Could that be to do with why you're not recovering?
No, so I had a week off the week I was moving in because I wanted to get everything set up, and like, I wanted a bit more time. Are you looking at how long we've been recording for?
No, my camera's just gone.
Oh, when?
What's happening? The audio is still going, so we'll just carry on just audio only for the last minute.
What was I saying? So I had a week off before I moved. Then I came in, like went to the gym, trained like semi-normal, little lower volume. Then I was fucked after that week. So then I decided to have a little more time off. Ended up having pretty much 2 weeks off unintentionally. Then last week I went in with low volume, low intensity. Then I was like, right, let's go balls to walls. Went balls to walls, gives myself a headache. This is another thing that keeps happening. I'll lift myself a headache a lot.
Is that because you're pushing that hard during your sets? And then...
I think so, but I'm normally fine with it.
Right.
It's not like my breathing's off or anything, so I've lifted myself a headache, come home, just napped. I had to have a nap. I got unbelievably tired, so I had a nap, and yeah, and I'm like,
definitely something that needs.
Yeah, there's definitely something. Yeah, but I'm having a lot of doctor's appointments recently. It's not something I want to share just yet.
You don't have to. Don't have to.
We don't need to know my medical history.
You don't need to. Let's just have a look. No, yeah, obviously something that probably needs checking on. And even if it does just come down to the whole stress of moving, then at least you find out. It's better to obviously find out that it's nothing than leave it and it be something.
Yeah, not dying, I'm alright.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Dead tomorrow.
Yeah. Don't say that. The last thing Poppy did was go on the Big Man podcast. Shit.
Went off with a bang. Right. Don't think you'll be seeing me at his funeral anytime soon, guess. It's alright.
On that happy ending. They were round this one up. We are. And we got through 3 questions out of 10. But I think there was some good conversations in there, hopefully. I mean, the camera's gone the last couple of minutes. See how many people get to the end.
Yeah, if you got to the end, congrats. Let us know. Drop us a message.
Probably just melted.
Drop us a message saying, what shall we say? Rest in peace, Poppy. Message us, rest in peace, Poppy, and we will give you 10 golden stars.
Message it to me, though, just in case Poppy does actually die. She won't be able to open it. Yeah, hopefully we've not melted your brains too much. I feel like it was a fairly decent episode considering.
Sound?
Yeah. Well,
you've done well.
Thank you.
See you in the next one. It's all right, guys. See you in a couple of years.
Who knows? Will we have her on for a 4th round?
After this one, probably not.
Just loads of thumb down on YouTube. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this one, drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.
See you later.